Welcome to Literacy Adventures with Ali. In today's adventure, we are going to learn about prepositions. I'm sure that you already very well know what prepositions are. Prepositions are a part of speech that tell us the position of an object or a noun. For example, in, on, at. I'm sure you already know all of that. But my focus in today's adventure is going to be on two particular prepositions. And these two particular prepositions are for and since. The reason why I have chosen to make a video on this particular topic is because I hear people misuse and incorrectly use both these prepositions on an average daily basis. They use since where they should use for, and they use for where they should use since. Which is why I have decided to help everyone out by making a video on the topic so everybody can learn and use these prepositions correctly. The second topic in today's video is apostrophes for possession. Apostrophes are another punctuation mark that are misused and incorrectly used a lot. So I hope today's video and today's adventure is helpful to you and that you learn a lot from it and benefit from it. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, for liking my videos. Please continue to support me and continue to join me in all of my future adventures as well. Happy learning!
So, let's start by talking about prepositions. A preposition is a word that expresses a position. It helps in showing the connection between the subject and the rest of the words in a sentence. There are different types of prepositions which give us different kinds of information. For example, prepositions of time, place, and manner show us when, where, or how something happens in a sentence. If you look at the picture, you'll see that the mouse is in one picture under the box. In the next picture, he's over the box. Then he's in the box, on the box, in front of the box, behind the box, and next to the box. So all of these words are prepositions because they are expressing different positions. A lot of people get confused between the usage of the prepositions in, on, and at. They're not sure when they should use in, when they should use on, and when they should use at. So for your convenience, I have shown an inverted pyramid which explains when to use these respective prepositions. Take a look at the one at the very top, which is in. We use in when we are talking about general or bigger things. For example, we use in to express time when we are talking about centuries. For example, in the 1800s, or in the 1980s, or in 1970, or in a month, for example, in July, in May, or in 2 weeks, etc. At the same time, we also use in when we are talking about location. For example, a country in England, a city in Karachi or London, and in a neighborhood, for example, in Chinatown, in Bahadurabad, in Defense, etc. Then we come to on. We use on for more specific or smaller things. With regards to time, we use on to express days and dates. For example, on May 7th, 1964, or on my birthday, or on Friday, or on the weekend. We also use on to express location. For example, on Oxford Street, or on the corner, or on Tariq Road, or on Frere Road, etc. Then we come to the preposition at. We use at for very specific or small details. With regards to time, We use at to express hours, for example, 7 a.m., at 12 o'clock, at 5 p.m., etc. And we use at to express location as well, for example, at 734 Oxford Street or at the store. A common confusion that remains between in and on and at is hospital. Many people ask me if we should use which preposition to express someone is at a hospital. So we can say someone is in the hospital, we can also say someone is at the hospital. However, the meaning of both the prepositions will be different. When we say, for example, that Sam is in the hospital, that means he is admitted in the hospital. However, if I say that Tina is at the hospital, that means she's either working there or she's visiting someone at the hospital. My focus today and the whole reason for preparing this video on prepositions is to educate people about these two important prepositions in the English language. One is for and the other is since. So please note that we use for to express time when we are talking about a duration of time, a period of time. And we use the preposition since to express time when we are talking about a specific time. So, for example, when we are going to talk about 5 minutes, 2 weeks, 6 days, 7 months, 10 years, 2 centuries, half an hour, all of these are periods or durations of time. However, when we are going to talk about specific time, like 6 o'clock, 1995, 2nd June, Thursday, March, or Christmas, Eid, my birthday, all of these things are specific times, which is why we are going to express them using since. So let's take a look at a few examples on the screen first. We've been talking for 30 minutes. So 30 minutes is a duration of time. So we are not going to say we've been talking since 30 minutes. We are going to say we have been talking for 30 minutes. And the same sentence could be said in another way using since if you want to mention a specific time. For example, we've been waiting here since 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock is a specific time. You can say that, but only when you use a specific time. So the next time someone asks you, how long have you been working in this organization? Your answer should either be that I have been working here for 3 years, or your answer should be I have been working here since 2020. The next topic for today's adventure is apostrophes. Apostrophe is a punctuation mark and we use it for two purposes in the English language. Its first purpose is to contract or combine or shorten words, two different words. For example, I'll, you'll, he'll, I'm, he's, she's, etc. However, my focus in today's session will be on using apostrophes to show possession. In English, there are two ways of showing possession. For example, we can say the tail of the cat, or we can use an apostrophe to say the same thing and say the cat's tail. So the cat's tail with an apostrophe or tail of the cat. In both of these cases, we are showing possession or belonging. The following four rules should be remembered when we are using an apostrophe to show possession. Rule number one, an apostrophe comes before S if the noun is singular and regular. Remember, an irregular noun is the one which, when it is changed into plural, it does not end with an S. For example, woman will become women and man will become men. So we are talking about singular and regular nouns here in rule number one. Those nouns that end in an S and we are right now talking about singular nouns which are regular. So the example is the boy's hat is made of wool. So we will simply put an apostrophe and an S to show possession and belonging after the singular and regular noun boy. Take a look at rule number 2. An apostrophe comes before the S if the noun is plural and irregular. I've already just explained what irregular noun is, and here we are talking about the irregular noun child, the plural of which is children. So if the noun is plural and it is irregular, then we are going to treat it the same way as in rule 1, and we are simply going to put an apostrophe and an S after that word to show possession. In rule number 3, an apostrophe comes after the S if the noun is plural and regular. So girl and girls, plural. So girl is a regular noun and girls is a regular plural noun. So if the noun is plural and regular, then we simply put an apostrophe after the plural S, and we do not put an additional S after the apostrophe. For example, the girls' sweaters look nice. We are not talking about a single girl here. We're talking about several girls and all of their collective sweaters. So we are going to put an apostrophe after the plural girls' S. The last rule is that an apostrophe comes after the S if a person's name already ends with an S. So, for example, Charles is a name that already ends with an S. So, we are simply going to put an apostrophe after it. We are not going to put an additional S after it. However, this is more of a British rule. The Americans, since they like to simplify everything, they like to add the additional S after the name that already ends with an S. So they write Charles apostrophe and then an additional S after that. However, whether you write an S or you don't write an S, in speaking, you will say that is Charles's house. A lot of people have the habit of putting apostrophes where they don't belong. So please try to avoid the unnecessary usage of apostrophes and the misuse of apostrophes when you are writing. Remember, we do not use apostrophes when we are using the words its, which is a possessive pronoun, whose and your, or in yours, their, or their. Remember, theirs itself is a pronoun with an S at the end of their. It does not require an apostrophe at all. Similarly, we do not write apostrophes when we are talking about plural nouns. When we are simply talking about more than one cat, we will not use an apostrophe. Similarly, when we are talking about decades, we will not use an apostrophe because we are treating them as plural years. So in the 1970s or in the 1790s, we are not going to write an apostrophe before the S here. However, if you are writing 1980s best hits, then you will use an apostrophe because we are talking about the hits that belonged to the 1980s era. Another tricky situation here is if you are writing best hits of the 90s. Here you will not use an apostrophe because of the is already indicating belonging. Similarly, there are many abbreviations like BMWs, more than one BMW, DVDs, more than one DVD. Here we are treating them as plurals. So we will not use an apostrophe of possession because we are not showing belonging here at all. Here's a little challenge for you. Take a look at these pictures. Can you spot the unnecessary use of apostrophes at these public signs? Thank you for joining me in today's adventure. If you like this video, then please subscribe and like and hit the notification bell. If you want to know more about me, then please check out my bio in the About section of my channel. If you want to contact me for conducting training sessions, then please send me an email at the email address shown on the screen.